The flow of the physical world affects us in ways that only a select few can fully know. We see it in our rivers, which provide our riches, and bear the life we need to protect. We study these and other things. The forces of flow applied in the industrial worlds of process and of power, so that something runs as well as it can, and that it runs clean. We are Alden. Our history begins over a century ago on a small pond that has fed 1,000 studies.
Well, I think everywhere you walk at the laboratory here, you feel the history, and you can almost understand the people that came before you and the things that they did. And I think to a lot of people, it's an inspiration because they know there is a lot of history here, and they know what they do is important.
Since 1894, we have been solving flow problems. Our 32-acre campus is a growing organization of engineers, biologists, and support staff dedicated to its mission. From the laboratory to the field, we are recognized as the leader in fluid dynamic consulting and data acquisition.
It's a passion. It's something you're born with. We're looking for the kinds of people that spend their free time taking things apart and putting them back together again, not just because they're broken, but because they want to know how do they work. And those are the kind of people that you want working on these projects because they're the ones that are going to get into it and be able to accurately execute what needs to get done. Utility power generation, coal firing, for example. Our air and gas group does a huge amount of work on helping to design and implement emissions control systems. So we're working on scrubbers, electrostatic precipitators, NOx reduction systems. These power plants are a lot cleaner than they ever have been, and I like to think that we had a little piece of a role of that.
One of our most important industry segments is the nuclear industry. Oftentimes our clients will come to us with problems that are brought forth by the NRC, and those problems are typically time sensitive and they need answers very rapidly. We're in a position where we can give them those answers, and the results of our modeling and analysis can end up saving them quite a bit of money and quite a bit of time and effort in responding to the NRC. Typically people come to us with difficult and unique problems. So we have to apply the engineering principles to solve these problems, and sometimes, and quite often in fact, we have to think outside of the box. You have to really understand what you're going after and what your clients are looking to solve.
The calibration department was the foundation of the laboratory, and the building we're standing in was actually constructed for that purpose some 100 years ago, making use of the available water on the lands, and flow meters were installed and compared against the standard. Flow meter calibration is related to a independently measured flow. And the idea is you tell the client that for this signal output of the meter under test, here's what we measured and what we have for a flow. So you're relating a known to an unknown. The requirement for the river models is to evaluate the effect of a change to that river, meaning somebody wants to install a power plant or modify a dam. If you're going to install something that could affect river travel, barge travel, or sediment travel, one of the very good ways to do that is to construct a scale model and install that structure and evaluate its impact.
In addition to renowned laboratory expertise, Alden realizes that solving customer issues means having a strong presence in the field.
What we respond to is trying to collect physical data that will help the other groups at Alden. We're sort of a support group. We collect data that allows the engineers and modelers to make decisions and also to complete their work. 764.9 still. What's really important here is we really need high quality data. And that means going out there and taking spot samples and making sure that the recording instrumentation is reading the same.
7.94. My friends outside of work are all very jealous of my job just because I enjoy working for Alden so much. I'm always doing something interesting and new.
We have a little bit of a wake coming.
There's been some projects where we've been involved where it affects the lives of literally hundreds of thousands of people. Just improving the safety of waterways, improving conditions of life.
My name's Ray Tuttle. I'm a senior fisheries biologist here at Alden. The majority of work that I do and that we're doing here with fish are to find ways such that power plants don't kill too many fish. We look at behavioral responses, different mesh size, technologies, different species.
A lot of what the environmental group at Alden here does is work on ways to protect those fish, keep them from going into the power plant, or return them safely to the source water body.
We bring quite a bit of experience from the fisheries biology side, understanding how to keep organisms and fish out of intake structures and away from turbines. Fishing is the #1 recreational sport in the United States. There's a lot of attention and a lot of dollars spent on protecting fish habitat.
To me, my personal feeling is that once you do something, you're gonna put all your energy and the spirit on that. When you go to the site and see the real model, you're so excited. At the same time, you feel so, challenge is really a challenge problem. When you see all the turbulence, all the waves, all the flow patterns there, and you will think about it, does my safety model really can predict the flow patterns like this? And finally, the answer comes to like, yes, we can do a good job on that. I said, this is a newborn baby. When you build up the whole model, like the river, all the structures in your computer, and you can visualize it. And you can tell, using the mathematical tools, to simulate every detailed information from everywhere. So you can tell the people what is happening there and what information you can provide them. So it's really enjoyable for them. Personally, I think the water is kind of a friend that can speak with you.
The future of Alden is one of world markets and a flow of growing opportunities. To be there with all the tools and facilities, to answer the questions that have yet to be thought of, and remaining true to their underlying philosophy.
We have an inherent belief that everybody is responsible.
I try and treat customers as my friends. If you get that kind of mindset, you have a tendency to really think in terms of, a friend has asked me for a favor, I've got to do something to help them out.
I try to be a useful man to the world. Even doesn't matter what a big how can I do, but a small piece sometimes makes big difference.
For an engineer, this is a very fascinating place to work. You get to have hands-on experience, you get to get your hands dirty, you get to solve real-world problems. And I think the other motivation is the people that they work with, the camaraderie in the company, and the real feeling of family and the family atmosphere that we've tried to develop here, I think motivates people.
Somebody told me once that you spend your whole life trying to earn enough money and get enough position in life so that you can then go back and live like you did when you were in college. The culture here is amazing. The people that I started working with had a passion for what they did. They really loved what they did, and they were having a lot of fun doing it. And that's the key. Our business plan here is to obviously make a profit but have fun. If you're not having fun, then you're in the wrong business.